Maybe this feels familiar. You're staring at her chat, wondering if you should block her, delete her, or just disappear completely. You keep asking yourself, why do I still care when she clearly doesn't? You've replayed every word, every moment, trying to figure out where it went wrong. One part of you wants to cut her off to protect your pride. The other part still hopes she'll notice your silence and come back. And that battle inside, it's exhausting. If this is you, you're not weak. You're human. You care deeply, and she made you question if that was a mistake. You tell yourself you're done, but deep down you still check if she's seen your story. You still wonder if she ever thinks about you. You want to move on, but something keeps pulling you back, like an invisible thread you can't break. You've thought about blocking her to get peace, but what if blocking her only proves she still controls how you feel? You've thought about begging, apologizing, trying one last time, but what if doing that just pushes her even further away? Here's the truth most men never realize. You don't win her back by reacting to the pain she caused. You win by mastering what that pain is trying to teach you, because she expects you to react. But what happens when you don't? When she pulls away, she's not just walking away, she's watching. Every text you send, every move you make, tells her what kind of man you are. But when you stop chasing, when you do this instead, that's when everything flips. So what really happens when you stop trying to prove your worth to her and start showing it to yourself? Most men get this part wrong because they act from emotion instead of composure. The moment she pulls away, they panic. They start reaching, explaining, proving. They think if they just say the right thing or show how much they care, she'll suddenly realize what she's losing. But that's not how attraction works. The more you chase, the more she feels she's in control, and the more she pulls away to test just how much power she really has. You see, women don't lose respect when you go silent. They lose respect when you lose yourself. Blocking her out of anger or begging for her attention both come from the same place, insecurity. One looks like strength, the other looks like weakness, but both show that she still controls how you feel. True masculine power isn't about reacting, it's about restraint. It's about holding your ground when every part of you wants to reach out. One core masculine principle is emotional sovereignty, the ability to stay centered no matter what she does. The second is detachment from outcome, understanding that your value isn't determined by her response. When you live by those principles, you stop trying to prove your worth and start embodying it. So when she pulls back, don't block, don't beg. Breathe. Let her feel your absence instead of your desperation, because a woman can sense when a man is emotionally grounded, and that's what draws her curiosity back. The moment you stop chasing her and start mastering yourself, that's the moment everything begins to shift in your favor. It's late. The room is dim except for the blue glow of your phone screen. Her name sits there and the last message still unanswered. You stare at it, thumb hovering, heart heavy. Part of you wants to text her one last time, to say something that'll make her remember who you were together. But another part, the quieter part, whispers, don't. You lock the screen and toss the phone beside you. The silence is loud. You start pacing, thinking about everything you could have said differently. You replay the moments, her laugh, her touch, the way she used to look at you, then the way she stopped. You scroll through old photos, and for a second you feel that ache, that pull to reach out just to feel something again. But then you catch your reflection in the dark glass of the window. You see the exhaustion in your own eyes. You realize it's not her you're trying to win back. It's your peace, your confidence, the man you were before you started begging for her validation. So you sit down, you breathe, you don't block her, you don't text her, you don't move. You just let the silence work. Days pass. She notices. Maybe she doesn't say anything, but she feels it, the shift. The control she thought she had starts to fade because you didn't react, you didn't break, you became unpredictable again. And in that quiet strength, something changes, not just in her, but in you. The need for her approval starts to dissolve. The chase ends, the power returns. And for the first time in a long time, you feel something stronger than attachment. You feel free. Most men are taught that when she pulls away, you have to do something. Text her, explain yourself, prove you care. But the truth is, the more you try to fix it, the more you break your own power. You start chasing reassurance instead of respect. You start needing answers from someone who already gave you silence. And that's where most men lose themselves. She didn't ghost you. You disappeared from yourself. The first false belief is that blocking her gives you closure. It doesn't. It only proves she still controls how you feel. You don't heal by erasing her existence. You heal by no longer reacting to it. True closure comes from calm acceptance, not emotional explosions. The second belief is that begging shows love. It doesn't. It shows fear, nor fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. Love never has to plead. When a man stands in quiet confidence, his energy speaks louder than any apology ever could. The third belief, and maybe the hardest, is that her attention equals your worth. It never did. Her validation only feels powerful because you stopped giving your own. The moment you realize that, everything changes. She's not testing your feelings, she's testing your foundation. You don't need to block her, chase her, or convince her. You need to return to yourself. The version of you that didn't overthink every move, that didn't beg to be seen, because that man, that grounded, centered, emotionally sovereign man, is the one she can't forget. When you stop reacting, you stop being predictable, and that's when she starts to wonder what changed. The 1% headman doesn't block her out of anger or chase her out of fear. He moves from clarity. He understands that his reactions define his power more than his words ever could. When she pulls away, he doesn't crumble because he knows silence isn't rejection. It's information. It tells him where her energy is and where his focus should return to himself. This is what he understands. He doesn't need to prove his worth through her attention. He's already validated by his purpose, his discipline, and his peace. He's not trying to make her miss him. He's building a life that reminds him who he is without her. That energy, calm, grounded, detached, speaks louder than any message ever could. The 1% headman doesn't chase comfort. He chases clarity. He knows that emotions are waves, and he rides them instead of drowning in them. He's mastered the art of responding slowly, with composure, not confusion. This is how he leads with presence, not pressure. He lets her feel his absence, not his anxiety. He doesn't react when she tests him, because he knows every test is an invitation, not to prove something to her, but to confirm something within himself. He's not afraid of space, because space is where a woman either grows in respect or fades out completely. Either way, he wins. The headman mindset is simple. Stop trying to control her perception and start mastering your projection. Your energy becomes your message. Your silence becomes your statement. And when you reach that level of calm strength, you don't have to chase what's meant for you. It naturally starts to chase you. It hits you one night, and not like a thunderclap, but like a quiet truth that's been whispering for weeks. You're sitting in the same room, same chair, same silence, but something feels different. You're tired, not of her, not of love, but of how much of yourself you've lost trying to be understood by someone who stopped listening. For the first time, you don't reach for your phone. You don't check her page. You don't wonder who she's talking to. Instead, you sit with the stillness, and for the first time in a long time, it doesn't hurt. You realize the pain wasn't from losing her. It was from losing your center, your peace, your presence. And as that truth settles in, something inside you shifts. You remember who you were before her. The man who had goals, laughter, purpose, and quiet confidence. The man who didn't need validation to feel seen. You remember that strength doesn't come from being unhurt. It comes from not letting the hurt define you. You take a breath, deeper than usual, and it feels like reclaiming territory in your own heart. You understand now. She was never your peace. She was your mirror. She reflected what you needed to heal, what you'd forgotten about yourself. And in that realization, everything changes. The waiting ends, the searching ends. You no longer need her to remember you, because you've remembered yourself. That's the moment your power returns, not with anger, not with revenge, but with stillness. Because now, your silence isn't weakness anymore. It's control. You don't win by blocking her. You don't win by begging her. You win by becoming the man who no longer needs to. The moment you stop chasing her attention and start protecting your peace, everything shifts. She'll feel the difference, not because you're trying to prove something, but because you finally stopped trying at all. You didn't lose her. You just outgrew the version of yourself that needed her to feel whole. And that's when it all changes, when your silence starts speaking louder than her absence ever could.